Hey guys, so today's video is going to be me styling outfits inspired by FRUiTS magazine. And if you've never heard or seen of FRUiTS magazine before, it's a Japanese street style magazine. It was founded in 1997 by Shoichi Aoki. And I first saw this magazine because I was on Instagram and I follow this account called Saburaku online. And they post a bunch of Japanese media for fashion, art, music, and just a bunch of other creative things, which I highly recommend you go check them out because it's actually a magazine as well, and they post a bunch of articles. And every time I go on there, I swear I learned something new and interesting. But anyways, one of their nudist articles they had was on Japanese nail art, so I had to do my nails, especially because it kind of is on theme with today's video. And I just put a bunch of decoration on them and some Sanrio gems. But yeah, I've always loved the nail art over there because it's so much more fun than just a normal set of nails, and the creativity of it makes the nails actual works of art on a little just canvas. Anyways, I love all the articles they do, and if you want to improve your style more, I would say definitely get into reading more articles or just fashion journalists, because if you're getting all your inspiration from 10-second TikTok clips, then that's a limitation you're sort of putting on yourself, which I'm definitely guilty of. I'll watch a TikTok on say a designer or a runway I like, and then I won't put any further research into it, so all I'm consuming is that short clip. So a recent goal for me has been to branch out and just read more. I wanted to be able to read these, but it's all in Japanese, so I just kind of look at the pictures and that's where I get my inspiration from. But anyways, back to the main point of the video, I saw this other article they did online interviewing the founder of the magazine, which I had previously never heard of FRUiTS magazine before, but I've always seen his photos. I just didn't know it was from a singular magazine. Maybe you've seen some of the photos while scrolling on Pinterest or Instagram, but there's actually a pretty distinct style to them, and it makes sense that they all come from the same source. I decided to actually purchase a couple of the magazines just because I wanted to have it physically, and let me tell you, these magazines were not cheap at all. It was definitely worth it. I bought some of the earliest editions from 1997 and 1998, and I think what makes these magazines so special, especially the earlier ones, is the way that these people were dressing is in accordance with their own selves. These outfits are some of the most creative and unique looks that you just don't see on the streets that much anymore. Social media, fast fashion, all that shit barely existed then. It was just sort of calmly brewing before it eventually spilled out into the mess that is Shein and all the overconsumption shit of today. And also, the magazine doesn't even exist now because of that. In the February of 2017, Shoichi Aoki announced that FRUiTS magazine would cease publication effective immediately because there was no more cool kids to photograph. Which I think there are cool kids that exist, it's just more rare to come by because of places like Forever 21 existing. So yeah, I'm gonna be styling outfits based on some of the trends I analyzed from the magazine. It's mostly stuff I found thrifted or secondhand, so I'll do my best to let y'all know where I got everything from, but most of it is unknown or just probably not available anymore. But still, I encourage you guys to look for your own clothes. I'm not an influencer at all. This video purely exists from me being inspired and hoping to maybe inspire someone watching this. So yeah, I'll get into the video and please subscribe. There's a strange sense of harmony that emerges once you choose to embrace the chaos of clashing patterns. The idea that clothing patterns must remain simple and isolated is a boring notion that just restricts creativity. I think one of the most common patterns that I noticed was plaid or tartan. I don't know what the difference is between those two, but I think it's the same. Anyways, there was a lot of different varieties that I noticed. There was plaid skirts, scarves, suits, and plaid even being styled on top of plaid. Just a bunch of plaid overload. I'm not sure why that pattern was so popular. Maybe it was Vivienne Westwood's influence, or maybe it's because it's a common high school uniform pattern there. But either way, it was undeniably a thriving trend. I chose to play into that with a handmade plaid skirt. The opposing pattern I chose is a striped cardigan with loose ruffles at the end. Underneath it, I'm wearing a satin button-up with a frilly collar, and to tie it all together, literally, I chose to wear a plaid tie and some classic Converse. Overall, I can imagine this outfit being absolutely horrendous to someone who has a closed mind about how clothes should be styled, but I'd argue that the dissonance and the irregularity of this outfit is what makes it stand out. So there wasn't exactly any outfits here that were taken exactly from the traditional punk subculture, but there were some little elements I noticed that were incorporated into the outfits. I think this was more a subtle celebration of punk, not necessarily like a full adoption of it. For example, I saw a lot of pins, studded bracelets, leopard print, and spiked bleached hair. And for my outfit, I chose to wear a colorful tank top with a pair of striped green pants. The print on the shirt has a lot of complex details that I'm in love with, and I think the green of the pants complements the shirt well. For the punk element, I wore a chain belt, studded clogs, and for this video, I specifically bought a leather studded bracelet because I saw a lot of people in the magazine wearing one, which I ended up really loving, and I plan to wear it more on with outfits in the future. I got it handmade from Etsy and it's actually really good quality. Don't forget to support small businesses. Anyways, like I said, this outfit isn't punk at all. It's definitely like a subgenre of it, one that infuses a Harajuku twist to it. One of the most appealing things about the people in these magazines is that they know how to have fun with an outfit. They're not afraid to wear pieces that others may not understand. They're never dull, they're never serious. There's always going to be someone serving an outfit that sparks creativity and newness. For example, this guy rocks a floral feminine blouse, something that I know a lot of men would be afraid to do. This guy here rocks an almost ironic use of lingerie printed onto his shirt. This guy here rocks a tall bowler hat, which usually looks funky, but he manages to make it look cool. I think I was most intrigued by this photo where this girl wears a pair of long bloomers with a cardigan, all in light pastel colors. This inspired me to buy my own pair of bloomers. I got them off Depop. And I did some research on them because I think they're such an interesting choice of bottoms. If you know what bloomers are, you typically think of like the baggy underwear that gathers around mid-length, most typically worn during the Victorian era, but in Japan they actually weren't used for undergarments. They were worn as a gym uniform. They were tiny high-cut shorts that tightly hug the body and expose the upper thigh, quite the opposite from the English version. Around the 90s, these shorts stopped being used in Japanese schools and instead replaced with more unisex longer ones, which I'm sure you can imagine why they stopped using them. Anyways, history lesson over. I just think it's cool that clothing can evolve and take on different meanings over time. Having a sense of humor means you have intention with your clothes and almost As we all know, layering is an important stylistic choice when it comes to creating an outfit that's more complex and fulfilling. I think layering can be intimidating to some people because it's very easy to go wrong with and you could end up looking like that one guy from Friends. But if you style it right, it can be really cool. One of the ways I appreciate layering is a skirt over the pants. It's a classic for a reason, and plus I think it's hard to go wrong with. The most common pants I saw skirts being paired with were slacks that have a slight flare at the bottom, so I did the same exact thing with a pinstripe black pair, layered with a black mini skirt, and I paired it with a minty colored silk blouse and a short sleeve pinstripe blazer. I felt it needed something in the middle to section it, so I added a belt for a more sophisticated look. I think this layering combination can be styled in a variety of ways. I just recently saw the new Hunger Games movie and it was really good, but I was also paying attention to what they were wearing and I saw that they styled a red skirt over red pants and it honestly, it looked really cool. You can also style it to be more Y2K with a pair of jeans, and if you want a more grungy look, you can wear baggy pants with a more loose skirt. And yeah, there's endless possibilities and combinations for whatever vibe or style that you want to achieve. I think that looks cool, right? Okay, when I was reading the article about FRUiTS magazine, there was a quote that described the models in the magazine and it really struck a chord within me. Styles emerging during this golden age were often driven by a resistance to conformity and even the authority of what companies and large fashion brands determined stylish. Many FRUiTS admirers championed smaller brands, secondhand clothing, or even customized garments themselves out of 100 yen Daiso trinkets or whatever else they could lay their hands on. And I think it's apparent that all the people in this magazine are just following their own instinct and are more authentic compared to someone who only wears name brand clothes. And from now on, I'm going to use that idea as a consensus for my own style, because whenever I wear an outfit, I want people to be like, oh my gosh, where did she get that from? Not like, oh my god, she's wearing the Balenciaga tennis shoes or the JW Anderson frog shoes, even though I would like the frog shoes, not gonna lie, but anyways, I was really inspired by how these outfits were not just outfits. There's actually a lot more going on. Accessorizing your fits is such a fun way to customize your clothes and add a personal touch. because they're not just wearing jewelry. It's the socks, it's the hats, it's the scarves, the hairstyles, the keychains, and the pins. I saw this one where she's wearing overalls and it sort of has this like childish character to it. So I was really inspired by that, and I decided to pull my own pair of baggy overalls out from my closet, and I decided to wear a graphic long sleeve under it. On my head, I'm wearing a brown cap. On my hands are an assortment of rings and bracelets. On my overalls, I attached some pins, and as well as this handmade axolotl keychain. I sell these axolotl keychains on my Etsy. If you want one, go check now before they sell out. So graphic tees are undoubtedly an essential clothing item in many people's closets. I don't think it's something that will ever go out of trend unless you're buying it from like a mall, because those ones are mass produced and they tend to be more tacky and overused, so don't get them from the mall. I think it's funny because on Instagram I've seen there's like a whole community of mostly men who are like die-hard vintage t-shirt collectors, and they're willing to spend like $1,000 on a crummy old t-shirt with holes and armpit stains in it.
Excuse me, boss. Question. How much for the Biggie tee, the first one?
Oh, we got 1.2 on it. Okay.
Dang.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the way that graphic tees were being styled. I love the baggy look of a shirt, but I also appreciate when they're more fitted to the body. I think graphic tees are a great way to express a little bit of your personality, whether it's a band shirt or a sports shirt or just a brand you like. I think it's just a way to give people a little taste of who you are. For my outfit, I chose one of my favorite band vintage t-shirts with a pair of camo pants. I practically live in this shirt, and you can tell from the stretch collar and bleach stains that my love for it has worn it out a little. But I love the way this shirt fits on my body and how it just kind of drapes over it, so yeah. This trend kind of already overlaps with some of the outfits that I've done already, but I feel like it deserves its own spotlight. Yeah, everyone in this magazine knows how to play with color in a way that's unconventional yet appealing. It can be contrasting, monochromatic, complementary, whatever, but it all stands out and is bold. One of the more common color themes that I saw was bleached hair or colored hair. I love how different they all are. It makes me want to do crazy things to my hair, but I won't get too ahead of myself. For my outfit, I chose some cooler colors, a blue mesh ocean printed top and a green unbuttoned shirt. I chose some black sweatpants for a more relaxed look. And I know these colors don't match at all, but that's the point. Trust me, the worse it looks, the better. Okay, so for my last outfit, I wanted to create this specific one that I saw. So there's not really like a main idea here other than the fact that I saw this dress and I was like, wait, I have a dress like that. Both the dresses are plaid and they sort of have this like unique billow of fabric that scrunches up. My dress is definitely like a toned down version of hers. Like hers is way cooler than mine, but it's okay. I also paired it with some sneakers to fully capture a similar vibe to the girl in the magazine. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun styling the clothes. I plan to make this like a series where video series where I do outfits inspired by something I like. Please subscribe if you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I would appreciate it. So yeah, bye.